go wrong in life, who do people usually blame?
My wife.
Like, they get mad at their boss if they lose their job.
I don't know, the universe, themselves.
In some cases, you even hear people blame God for what they're going through. I mean, family members, parents. I mean, it all depends on what the issue is. It all depends on what they're going through.
That they should take a closer look at themselves, or at least take advice and listen to it.
Before you point on somebody else, it's easy to blame other people. It's somebody else's fault. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
Everything happens for a reason. God has a plan for you. So if you're going through something, there's a reason why. God could only put so much on your shoulders because he knows he can lift it.
When life puts us through difficult times, one might end up playing the blame game. Some might raise their fist at heaven or point a finger at God. But when life doesn't go the way that we have planned, should we let our anger or frustration allow us to blame God? Making sense of our sufferings and figuring out the meaning of our experiences can be a huge problem for some. Fortunately, the Bible gives us the solution. In our study of the Bible today, we need to ask first and foremost, how does God feel when we are going through situations of grief and dealing with so much pain? Does God take pleasure when his servants are in grief and pain? Let's begin our Bible reading in the book of Lamentations. We'll read 3:34 and also verse 33. The Lord knows when our spirits are crushed in prison. He takes no pleasure in causing us grief or pain. Does God take pleasure when his servants are in grief and pain? No, he doesn't. What we just read provides so much comfort to anyone dealing with grief and trouble. The Lord knows when our spirits are crushed, and he takes no pleasure in causing us grief. He is not happy to see us in pain. But what is the proof that God does not take pleasure when his servants are in grief and pain? Let's continue reading the scriptures. In Jeremiah, we'll read 29 and the verse is 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. What is the proof that God does not take pleasure when his servants are in grief and pain? God has plans to give us hope and a good future. What kind of future did the Bible describe? He wants us to prosper. He does not want us to be harmed. He made those plans for us. So is it right for us to blame God if one is experiencing misfortunes in their life? What might be the reason that other people's lives are being ruined? Let's read that here together in the book of Proverbs 19 and the verses 3. People's own foolishness ruins their lives, but in their minds they blame the Lord. Is it right to blame God if one's life doesn't go the way he imagined? No. What is it that ruins the lives of others? The Bible explained that it is their own foolishness. They are the ones who choose to do the things that resulted in misfortune. But as the Bible explains, those people still end up blaming God for the unfortunate condition of their life. Why is it then? Why is it that others sometimes fail to receive the blessings that they're hoping for? Let's read that together in Isaiah. We'll read 48:17 until 18. The holy God of Israel, the Lord who saves you, says, I am the Lord your God, the one who wants to teach you for your own good and direct you in the way you should go. If only you had listened to my commands, then blessings would have flowed for you like a stream that never goes dry. Victory would have come to you like the waves that roll on the shore. Why do some fail to receive the blessings that they're hoping for? Because they don't follow God's commandments. God said in the verses that we just read, if only you had listened to my commands, then blessings would have flowed for you. The Bible teaches that faithful listeners to God's words and his teachings are promised victory. The continuous victory like the waves that roll onto the shore. And this is why it is a good thing for us to continue to study the words of God and make time to listen to his teachings, like you're doing right now watching this program. Others may think, well, I'm following God's commandments. Why am I not getting the blessings that I'm hoping for? Let's ask the Bible. Why are there some that experience sufferings although they are living in obedience? We'll read that together in 1 Peter. We'll read 1 Peter 1, 6 until 7. Be glad about this, even though it may now be necessary for you to be sad for a while, because of the many kinds of trials you suffer. Their purpose is to prove that your faith is genuine. Even gold, which can be destroyed, is tested by fire. And so your faith, which is much more precious than gold, must also be tested, so that it may endure. Then you will receive praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed. Why are there some that experience sufferings although they are living in obedience? Well, the apostles made it clear that we might have to go through various trials for a brief period of time. And what's the purpose of the trials and sufferings? We just read that they are necessary to prove that one's faith is genuine. The Bible likened faith to gold, a precious metal. Precious metals are tested for their purity, meaning impurities need to be extracted or taken out of that, and what is left is clean and pure. Is not our faith more precious than an earthly metal like gold? Why is it important to prove to God that our faith in him and his teachings and his plans is pure and genuine? The Bible said, your faith, which is much more precious than gold, must also be tested so that it may endure. Then you will receive praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed. Others may think that the situation that they are experiencing right now is so difficult and they can't handle it anymore. So what if the trial that we go through is so severe that we really feel down and depressed? Will that trial be harmful to us? Let's read that together in 2 Corinthians. We'll read 1, 8 until verse 10. We want to remind you, brothers, of the trouble we had in the province of Asia. The burdens laid upon us were so great and so heavy that we gave up all hope of staying alive. We felt that the death sentence had been passed on us. But this happened so that we should rely not on ourselves, but only on God who raises the dead. From such terrible dangers of death he saved us and will save us, and we have placed our hope in him that he will save us again. Is there any trial that will be harmful to us? No. We just read about the trial that the apostles went through. They said that the burdens that were on them were so heavy, they gave up all hope of staying alive. You may be wondering, how was that not harmful for them? That seems very severe. Did you notice what that trial allowed them to do? The apostles said, but this happened so that we should rely not on ourselves, but only on God. So what should we do if we're ever on the verge of death or feeling trapped and in total despair? Let's do the same thing the apostles did. Place our hope in God and learn to rely on God and God alone. One may also argue that this world we live in is so difficult. There's violence and danger everywhere. Even if we live in a safe community with plenty of resources, people are so cruel and illness is so severe. What can we rely on God to do when the world is filled with sickness and violence? Let's read in Psalms 91. We'll read 1 until verse 3. You can go to God Most High to hide. You can go to God All-Powerful for protection. I say to the Lord, you are my place of safety, my fortress. My God, I trust in you. God will save you from hidden dangers and from deadly diseases. What can we rely on God to do when the world is filled with sickness and violence? God is truly the Almighty, and he will protect us. His protection includes safety from hidden dangers and deadly diseases. So when we are in the face of problems and troubles, should we blame God and get angry with Him? Nothing good comes from blaming God. That would be wasted effort on the part of anyone looking for success, looking for a way past the trial. What must we do if we want our endeavors and our good plans to succeed? Let's read in Proverbs. We'll read 16:3. Entrust your efforts to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. What must we do if we want our endeavors and our good plans to succeed? Entrust everything to the Lord. If life does not go the way that we expected, or if we're ever caught in a situation that may be difficult for us, we should not blame God. There is never a moment that we should be angry with the Lord. We should not blame God for the adversities and misfortunes we encounter in life. Instead, we should take a careful look at our life and know why we're experiencing difficulties. We may be having difficulties as a consequence of not obeying the commandments of God. It's also possible that the situation we're in is a test of our faith. The solution to the difficulties we experience is never to blame God. Instead, we should trust in God completely. Make every effort to follow the commandments of God. Put our careful choices in God's hands and wait upon the Lord to reveal His blessings and success in our life. It is our prayer that all of you joining us on this program will keep God's words in your hearts, and together, we'll commit to trusting in God, looking for the lessons and refining points in life's experiences so that we could prove our faith is true and solid. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Solution. We'll see you next time.